Kentuckiana Air Education, or KAIRE, was established back in 2001 to educate people about the benefits of clean air, with an emphasis on voluntary steps that individuals can take to make a big difference in the fight against air pollution. Joining me now with more is Outreach Coordinator for KAIRE, Dee Lynch, with some important steps that everybody can take, and that's what we're going to get to, because we all can do, right? Our part, absolutely. So talk a little bit more about the work, the comprehensive work that KAIRE does in our community.
Well, KAIRE is all about empowering people to make easy behavior changes that help the air, and we all breathe better if our community has cleaner air for all of us.
Absolutely. And we have a little quiz that we want to kind of go through with you, right? Because I feel like there's a lot of myths out there, right? And then facts. So you're going to help dispel these for us. So number one, idling is good for your engine.
That's a myth.
That's a myth. Why
right.
Is it? Yeah.
Usually people who learned to drive back in the old days, as I did, let their cars run.
Yeah.
And cars have changed a lot. We don't.
You don't need to be doing that.
We don't need to run our car for very long to keep, we should turn it off actually if we're going to be more than a few seconds.
All right, number two is poorly maintained vehicles are a main source of pollution. Myth or fact?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And you'll know that if you've ever been
stuck behind a car like that.
I was going to say, if you're in traffic behind somebody who hasn't been taking good care of their vehicle, you're going to know it. And you're probably going to be coughing and wheezing because of what's coming out of their exhaust.
Yeah, a lot of those older vehicles too that just haven't had things fixed up. All right, so number three is restarting your car uses more fuel than letting it idle. Myth or fact?
Well, restarting your car actually uses less fuel than you think.
Really?
Right. And that's the major change that has happened with the technology of the vehicle. Back in the day, you might even flood your engine while starting it, but now cars have fuel injection. So it takes less than a teaspoon of gas to restart your car. So actually turning it off is the more economical choice and actually the better choice for cleaner air.
Okay. All right, the fourth question is, the best way to warm up your car is by driving it. Myth or fact?
That's actually fact.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a trick one for me.
Right. Well,
I've always been told, get out there 15 minutes early, warm it up, especially in the cold weather.
Well, and most of that's out of comfort and convenience because we all want that warm, cozy cabin, or in the summer, that really nice, cool cabin. But actually, once your windshield is clear, say if you got some frost on there like I did this morning, once that's clear, you're good to go. And your car warms up more components if you're actually driving it. And engineers have designed it that way.
All right, new in there. I didn't know that. All right, our next one is idling doesn't waste much fuel. Myth or fact?
Ooh, that's a fact. If you'd like to save money on gas, and that's most of us these days, cutting out your idling is going to save you money, and you're going to get better gas mileage. So, if you're sitting there and your car's getting 0 miles per gallon while it's just sitting there, that's just wasted fuel and that's wasted emissions. And all those emissions are going into our air and creating air that we don't want to breathe.
All right, and our last one is a little ozone is good for you. Myth or fact?
Oh no, ozone is not good for you. Now there's ozone in the stratosphere which helps protect us from UV rays, but any ground level ozone is not good, and we don't want to breathe that in because that replaces oxygen and it makes people with asthma, COPD, anybody with breathing problems is going to have a hard time if there's ozone at ground level.
Right, like all good questions that you can learn something from, and like do your part just to turn off the car, or right, like just little steps I think that we all can do. Dee, thanks so much for stopping by. We're going to tell everybody, if you would like to learn more about how you can help, just head on over to helptheair.org.